This isn't just restoration, it's a forensic engineering case study. The subject, a machine abandoned to the forces of entropy. This isn't a pristine workshop, it's raw engineering, a battle against decay. First, strip away the years of contamination to perform structural analysis. The interior tells a story of neglect. Each piece of debris is a clue. This isn't cleaning, it's an archaeological dig, uncovering the original state. Preliminary diagnostics begin. The power plant shows signs of severe corrosion. Clearing the main optical sensor, the windshield, is crucial for future tests. Organic matter is meticulously removed. It traps moisture and accelerates corrosion. Assessing the chassis, the lever provides mechanical advantage to test structural integrity. Waste material is transferred for disposal. A clean workspace is an efficient one. Inside the cockpit, she reverse engineers the dashboard to find electrical faults. Stripped to its core components, the true scope of work is revealed. She decommissions the old electrical system, a critical step to prevent short circuits. The instrument panel is the car's sensory hub. Repairing it is essential. A simple but effective pressure test. Even old tires can hold air. Each pump rotation adds potential energy into the tire's closed system. Using a mechanical jack to lift the chassis for crucial undercarriage inspection. A final walkthrough. This is the quality assurance phase, verifying initial repair integrity. Work on the front assembly. This could be realigning the axle or securing the engine. The project has reached a milestone, from wreck to a work in progress. That the journey is far from over, the foundation for rebirth is laid. A new project, the power tool applies torque to overcome the lug nuts friction. When torque fails, percussive force is needed. The impact creates a shockwave to loosen parts. Every good engineer knows the value of proper tooling. Selecting the right tool is half the battle. Here we see classic mechanical leverage at work. The wrench multiplies the applied force. A lesson in material salvage. This bumper will be assessed for repair or replacement. Accessing the engine bay, the hood's hinge mechanism appears rusted but functional. A collaborative effort. Engineering is a team sport, combining skills to solve problems. Working on the undercarriage, she's likely addressing the suspension or exhaust system. An ambitious task, grafting a new body panel onto the old frame. Interior decontamination continues. Debris must be clear before any reupholstering work. Meticulous, hands-on work. Small, sharp fragments must be safely removed. The power of high-pressure water strips away years of accumulated grime. Focusing on the front grille, clear airways are vital for the engine's cooling system. The restoration reveals the vehicle's original lines, a process of subtraction. Drying the surface is critical to prevent flash rust on exposed metal. A clean body panel allows for clear inspection of stress fractures or dents. Now, restoring the human-machine interface. The dashboard is critical for driver information. The seating is next. Restoring it is a matter of comfort and safety. The transformation is remarkable, a testament to methodical work and engineering vision. This project serves as a model for low-cost, high-impact restoration. Another challenge, this vehicle exhibits catastrophic structural failure. In a parallel task, the engineer gathers resources, planning the project's logistics. An incredible discovery, an abandoned machine, an artifact from a bygone industrial era. She begins an initial field assessment. Protective gloves are essential with rusted metal. The machine is one with the earth. This will not be a restoration, but an excavation. Freeing the machine begins. This requires knowledge of soil mechanics and leverage. She focuses on the engine block. It must be cleared before any attempt to move it. Vegetation is surgically removed without damaging key mechanical components. A look at the wheels, the rubber has perished, but the steel structure seems salvageable. More clearing, each cut frees the machine, without compromising its structural integrity. Applying tensile force with a chain tests the chassis's remaining structural strength. A moment to regroup and call for logistical support, knowing when to ask for help is key. The extraction begins. The tractor is a dead load, testing the limits of the tow vehicle. The tow vehicle provides tractive effort to overcome the immense friction and mud. The machine is recovered to a staging area. Phase 1 of the operation is a success. A closer look at the challenge ahead. Decades of corrosion have fused with the metal. A moment of triumph, the engineer has rescued a piece of history from nature. The journey to the workshop continues. Every meter is a hard-fought victory. The scale of decontamination is immense, a multi-stage chemical and mechanical process. The final destination, here, the true work of disassembly and rebirth can begin. Decontamination begins with high-pressure water to remove the gross layers of mud. This is the machine in its natural state. The axle is submerged, rendering it immobile. The lead engineer surveys the challenge, forming a mental flowchart of the restoration. First, the air intake filter is removed. A dirty filter can destroy an engine. The deep clean continues on the drive wheels, allowing for inspection of the tires. A systematic approach, she works top-down, using gravity to help wash away debris. Now, the disassembly phase, a wrench is used to access bolts in tight clearances. Removing a rusted panel exposes the internal framework for a structural inspection. This appears to be part of the cooling system, critical to prevent engine overheating. Using a power drill dramatically increases the efficiency of removing multiple fasteners. The radiator is removed. Its fins and channels will be inspected for proper coolant flow. Working on the undercarriage is demanding, but essential for accessing the drivetrain. This rubber hose shows signs of perishing. All such parts must be replaced. Precision work, each bolt removed, is a step towards isolating the fault. The reassembly begins. This is where the engineer's skill shines, reversing the process. Each part is carefully fitted. Proper torque specifications would be critical. Replenishing the coolant, the lifeblood of the engine, preventing failure due to heat. Final components are being installed. The machine is slowly coming back to life. The attention to detail during reassembly is paramount to the project's success. The resurrection is complete, a moment of immense satisfaction for the engineer. That is the sound of a functioning power plant, the result of a successful rebuild. But the work is never done. Another derelict vehicle. Another engineering problem to solve. The initial survey reveals extensive interior decay. The first step is always decontamination. The front end collision damage is severe. She is assessing the frame's deformation. The vehicle is missing a wheel, indicating probable axle damage. The engineer contemplates the project's scope. This will require a multi-stage recovery plan. She begins disassembly in the field to lighten the load and assess components. The fine motor skills required are impressive. Each bolt has its own resistance. Returning to base camp for more advanced tools. Field work is a constant logistical challenge. Heavy machinery is brought in. The tractor will serve as the prime mover. The extraction is underway. The tow rope is under extreme tensile stress. Back at the workshop, the interior strip down continues to remove weight and debris. The rear seating must be cleared to inspect the fuel tank and rear axle. Now, we dive into the electrical system. She disconnects the battery for safety. A deep dive into the dashboard, tracing circuits for shorts and breaks. Inspecting the fuse box. A blown fuse is a symptom, not the root cause. A field expedient repair. Electrical tape provides insulation for a repaired wire. Returning to the engine bay, key components are reinstalled and reconnected. The air filter assembly is reinstalled. Clean air is critical for combustion. A second set of hands, collaboration speeds up the process and provides a second opinion. The engine block, a universe of complexity where all parts must work in harmony. Another field repair on a different vehicle. The principles of mechanics are universal. Logistical support arrives with a new tire and tools. No project succeeds without a supply chain. The tire change is a fundamental skill, a race against time and the elements. The impact wrench delivers massive, rapid torque, making short work of stubborn fasteners. Securing salvage parts, in Brassert's engineering, nothing goes to waste. Success, the vehicle is operational, a triumph of field engineering and resourcefulness. A moment of reflection, the restored machine is a monument to skill and perseverance. The work expands to land management, the engineer demonstrates multiple disciplines. Inspecting heavy equipment, this time, the problem lies deep within the undercarriage. A classic engineering problem, a lack of traction, the machine is useless without grip. A brute force attempt, sometimes you must test the raw power of machine and operator. When force fails, a strategic approach is needed. She begins to disassemble the wheel. The impact wrench is the tool of choice, providing the power for this heavy-duty job. With the machine partially disassembled, she can now access the engine for repairs. The focus and precision here are admirable. Field work adds a layer of difficulty. She adds fluid, likely engine or hydraulic oil. Proper lubrication is essential. The moment of truth, attempting to start the engine after field repairs. Persistence is key. The engine may need several attempts to cycle fuel. The engineering cycle: diagnose, repair, test, and repeat. Refueling, the second critical element for combustion. Without it, an engine is inert. A final inspection of the power plant before the operational test. She takes the command seat, the interface of this pure utility vehicle. And it's moving, the machine has been tamed. Navigating the rough terrain with ease. The vehicle shows excellent suspension travel and chassis flexibility on uneven ground. A water crossing, this tests the vehicle's seals and its critical air intake height. Returning from the wild, the tractor has been successfully recovered and restored. But there is always a new project. This vehicle is trapped by sand. Disassembly of the wheel begins, perhaps to check the brakes or bearings. The electric tool makes quick work of the fasteners, a testament to modern tools. The vehicle is immobilized, the friction between the tires and sand is too low. Attempting to use a lever to provide mechanical lift, a classic physics-based solution. Teamwork, a second engineer works on the undercarriage, clearing sand from the drivetrain. The collaborative effort continues. Complex problems require multiple perspectives. The tractor is called into service. It's high torque ideal for this towing job. The convoy moves to the workshop area. The extraction was a success. The contamination level is extreme. The interior is filled with soil and debris. The painstaking process of manual decontamination must be done before serious repairs begin. A simple brush is effective for removing the bulk of the loose debris. Every surface must be cleared. This is about hygiene as much as engineering. A new project, this white sedan is coated in a thick layer of mud. The high-pressure wash reveals significant taint degradation and underlying corrosion. The rear of the vehicle is similarly contaminated. Cleaning is always the first step. As the mud is stripped away, the full extent of the needed bodywork appears. A second operator assists, doubling the decontamination efficiency. With the hood open, we see the power plant. It is complete but extremely dirty. The deep dive into the engine begins, and an engineer methodically disassembles components. The spark plugs are being cleaned. Carbon fouling on plugs can prevent ignition. The clean plugs are carefully reinstalled. This requires a delicate touch. A torque wrench would be used here to tighten plugs to the correct specification. Working underneath the vehicle, perhaps repairing the exhaust or fuel filter. Adding a dark, viscous fluid. This is likely fresh engine oil for lubrication. The air filter housing is being cleaned. A clean air supply is critical. The engine bay is now significantly cleaner, allowing for more precise repair work. A multimeter tests the battery. It measures the voltage of the electrical system. Reading the output, a healthy battery should read above 12.4 volts at rest. Topping up the coolant reservoir, air in the system can cause overheating. Now, the interior, the rear seat is removed. To access the fuel pump assembly, the access panel is being unscrewed, a common design in unibody vehicles. This painstaking work reveals the hidden complexities beneath the car's exterior. We begin with a close-up of the fuel sender unit, disconnecting the fuel line, removing the retaining plate that holds the assembly in the fuel tank. The delicate fuel level sensor components are being cleaned with a fine brush. The entire fuel pump assembly is carefully reinserted into the fuel tank. The retaining plate is fastened, ensuring a vapor-tight seal. A small retaining clip is reinstalled. In engineering, every component is critical. The project car in its entirety, a canvas for the engineer's dedication. The engine bay, a complex web of systems that must work in perfect concert. The interior shows its age, but also its potential, a story waiting to be rewritten. The engineer stands ready. The challenge is immense, but the will is stronger. A new challenge, a trailer overturned in a stream. A problem of physics and leverage. She attempts to right the trailer manually, using her knowledge of pivot points. The unstable, muddy ground makes the task exponentially more difficult. Each attempt is a new calculation of force and balance. This is pure, applied physics. Success, the trailer is righted. Now begins the even harder task of extracting it. She pulls, fighting against the mud suction and the trailer's waterlogged weight. This is a testament to human determination, a fundamental tool in engineering. The trailer is finally freed from the stream, a victory born of sheer perseverance. The trailer is damaged but recovered. It can now be assessed for repair. And on to the next frontier, a rugged ATV, navigating a challenging off-road course. This URT for buy for shows excellent power-to-weight ratio and suspension articulation. Here it is shown with a payload, towing a small trailer with ease. The operator uncouples the trailer, preparing the vehicle for maintenance. The engine is being serviced. A clean engine is easier to diagnose and work on. Using a solvent to clean parts, this dissolves grease and grime that water cannot. The cylinder head is meticulously cleaned to ensure a perfect seal. Attention to detail is critical. Even small debris can cause engine failure. The reassembly phase, clean components are reintegrated into the system. Each part is carefully placed, following a precise assembly sequence. Fasteners are tightened, creating the rigid structure of a high-performance engine. The wiring harness is reconnected, the machine's nervous system. Final engine components are secure, the power plant is nearly whole again. This methodical process ensures reliability and performance under demanding conditions. With the engine complete, attention turns to the chassis and wheel. The steering wheel, the primary user interface, is installed. Arc welding, this process uses electricity to fuse metal, creating a permanent bond. The fabrication work is precise, this is custom engineering, adapting the original design. Final assembly of a chassis component. The project is nearing completion. The final quality check. The engineer inspects her work, ensuring all systems are ready. A manual check of the wheel lubes, a simple way to confirm everything is secure. And so the cycle concludes and begins anew. A story of decay, rebirth, and engineering. A very special thank you to the owner of the YouTube channel Litiu Lan for creating this wonderful video and allowing me to comment. If you enjoy this narrative, please visit and support their channel at the link in the description below.